Hello and welcome, foolish mortals. Halloween might be coming to a close this year, but we still have some more fun to talk about. And I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey one more time this year into the past with another piece of obscure Disney media.
Ah, the 1980s Disney that I never got to experience. This intro just gave me the most cozy, magical feelings, although they should be soon replaced by the spooky, frightening kind. There's a similar intro like they had in the previous Winnie the Pooh Halloween special we just covered, although, of course, this one was made first. Mickey and Minnie greet Michael Eisner while Goofy enters dressed up as Michael Eisner.
What do you think?
Wow, that's a swell costume, don't you think, Michael?
Okay.
We love a good twinning moment. So yes, if you couldn't tell already from the nostalgic feels and Michael Eisner, we are taking a look at Disney's Halloween treat. This was made in the 1980s, although just from some quick research, there were a couple different versions of this made and released throughout the years.
This is a compilation in every single sense of the definition, and we're introduced to this mashup with this cute little original music segment.
So play that haunting refrain.
And now, it's time for a Disney Halloween.
From then, there's narration between every segment by a man who sounds a little bit like he's trying to do a Rod Serling impression.
The main section within this film is a bunch of shorts and film clips from the Disney Vaults.
They start out with A Night on Bald Mountain from Fantasia because, of course, it's one of the darkest pieces of animation Disney ever created, especially within the early era of the 20th century. And then it continues with the compilation of all the evil witches within Disney history.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Can we stop with this evil witch slander? I think by this point we've been proven that witches are amazing and powerful and good.
Anyways, that introduces a clip from The Sword and the Stone, more specifically the wizard duel between Merlin and Madame Mim. There's also a big feature of a lot of the classic shorts from the 1930s to 1960s timeline, Mickey being afraid of the noise in this house, the complete short of Donald Duck and the Gorilla from 1944, where a news report tells everyone to beware of a gorilla that's on the loose from a zoo, prompting Donald to scare his nephews and the nephews getting their revenge back, while that same gorilla that's loose also stumbles upon Donald's house and chaos naturally ensues.
Attention all listeners. In order to subdue Ajax, use tear gas. That is all.
I understand that the 40s were a different time, but did people normally have tear gas available in their homes?
There's a Heffalumps and Woozle scene from Winnie the Pooh, Pluto's Judgment Day from 1935, in which Pluto hates all the cats and ends up falling asleep by a fire after being scolded by Mickey, and he ends up having a nightmare about being in hell.
Again, Mickey was always so mean to Pluto. Everyone was. This was such a dark short, and I always feel terrible for how Pluto is treated. And I understand this is his nightmare, but still, justice for Pluto. But also, this is when I love looking back at Disney history, because Disney used to be so much darker and edgier in the beginning. Make Disney edgy again.
There were also a couple of transition scenes between all of the main shorts shown.
Gazes are possessed by the devil.
Why did that woman get afraid of her pet? It's her cat. Which launches into the Siamese cat song. Not only is the song slightly awkwardly politically correct, but now you're saying they're the devil.
Who most certainly have the devil in them.
Okay, knockoff Rod Serling narrator. I'm not making any comments about that.
After that song, we get an appearance from the Magic Mirror, who then goes into a lecture about how villains are mostly misunderstood and are so important to the protagonist or hero's journey. Fair.
We all know that I love a good amount of villains, but the way he decides to lecture is by listing a bunch of Bible references.
Now, where would David be without Goliath? Or Jonah without the whale? How interesting do you think Samson would be without Delilah?
This is a Halloween special. Why is there so much religious discussion a part of this, and also from Disney? Since when has Disney ever become religious outside of a few Christmas specials? And that makes sense because Christmas is a religious-based holiday. I don't like this magic mirror. Give me the sassy magic mirror from the DTV monster hits. I mean, that did come out a few years later, so maybe they fired this one.
I will give him points back because of his defense in regards to Captain Hook. I will always be a Captain Hook stan. So yes, he made some good points against Peter Pan. They can never make me like you, Peter Pan. From that point on, he continues to shine a spotlight on each of the villains and a lot of the very unique ones too. Next up is Edgar the Butler from the Aristocats, which might be the most niche one to highlight. And then the giant from Jack and the Beanstalk, Kaa from Jungle Book, and of course the evil queen.
And oh, what fireworks when I had to tell her that her plot had failed.
And Maleficent, the wicked stepmother.
Absolutely rotten to the core.
Rotten to the core? Oh no. Don't summon the VK kids. It's too late. Just make it stop.
Anyways, the rest of the villains he continues to put a spotlight on are all rapid fire, just highlighting them for a moment compared to previously showing a massive clip from each of their respective films. We return back to our knockoff Rod Sterling narrator as he introduces the next short, Lonesome Ghost, which I already reviewed years ago. After that is the other classic short, Trick or Treat, which I've also talked about previously. And that's the end of the special. The intro plays again as the outro.
Disney's Halloween treat. Creatures on the prowl tonight. Features fair and foul tonight.
Gee, they were cutting costs even back then.
To howl tonight at Disney's Halloween treat.
Overall, I still am very happy that's available online. I'm very happy for the people that have saved this, have archived it, and put it up available for us to find, because this is very obscure to my knowledge. I wish they would put stuff like this on Disney Plus, especially because it is a compilation of everything that they've done. So it's very easy work for them. Technically, it isn't the best Halloween special that I've seen, but it's understandable because it literally is a compilation of every single Halloween short that they've done, more or less. And like I've said, there's a lot of repetitiveness, especially within the intro and the outro. That's the same thing, like they bookended it. Especially if you are a fan of Halloween like I am, it is worth a watch. And I know that, like I said, there's a couple different versions that they've done and released throughout the years. So I think this is a mashup of a earlier version and a later version together. It doesn't stand out on its own. I'll just say that. There are better Halloween specials that I've seen, but it's still worth a watch. And if you don't remember, I did cover DTV Monster Hits a couple of years ago, so I'll leave that link in the description. It's basically the same idea of a compilation such as this, but it's a little bit more unique because it's all music videos, and they took a lot of Halloween music to that, to their cartoons and animation, and just made them into AMVs. Whether you like that one or if you want to give this one a watch, I'll also put a link in the description below where I found this version on YouTube. Thank you once again for joining me for some more obscure Halloween fun when it came to Disney this year. Everyone loves Haunted Mansion, and everyone loves the Tower of Terror, and everyone loves Nightmare Before Christmas, and I love them all very much. I mean, we got Vampire Teddy in the background here, and Madame Leota, so both respective from their different properties, and Zero on my other side here, so everyone's included. But it's fun to be able to recognize the obscure. It's fun to be able to not forget how far Disney has come. And trust me, next year I'll be back covering some more Nightmare Before Christmas stuff and Haunted Mansion stuff as well, because they are very popular. I'll throw in a reminder here as well that I did review 31 Days of Halloween movies in the past, so if you are interested and want to see that, there's also a link in the description below there. And that's all the plugging I'll do in this episode. But until then, as always, I hope you have a magical day, and I will see you real soon. And happy Halloween!